the whole time is money, money is time. It's a classic line, but it's true. Because what is your time worth? And so when I'm working with a client on a search, I know exactly what my time's worth, and I know exactly how to make that time worth it. But when I'm looking on my own search, even though this person is going to make my life a whole lot easier, I'm still thinking to myself, well, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
My time's worth way more than that.
Yeah, sure.
So it's like I'm flipping it on myself.
Well,
it's interesting.
A lot of people also, and I think we've gotten smarter these days, but a lot of people don't realize how expensive it is to lose people. If you hire the wrong person, you invest 6 months in the wrong person, you've lost a lot of money between bringing them on and training and all that, and then the lost time of them not getting up to speed and then starting over. So, look, I want to cut to the chase a little bit here. I love your story and what we've covered so far. It's been very fascinating and exciting. But, when I title this podcast, it's going to be the Millionaire Recruiter. And that's going to entice people to go, okay, how do I get that, right? Because your website says get rich with no experience. And I see that you have a tab there that says become a top recruiter. What does that mean to our listeners? What does it mean to me? How are we going to get rich with no experience?
Yeah. So the beautiful, beautiful thing about recruiting, and I was kind of getting into the fees, is that we have really big hits, right? We have 30, 40, 50,000 hits. Money that you're getting paid out extremely quickly. An interview can take a week. So can you imagine making, $30,000 in a week?
Yeah.
You can have multiple ones, so it's extremely lucrative. So, but in order to be a millionaire recruiter, top millionaire recruiter, you need to be well trained, because a lot of people think that it's on the surface a very easy job. Because in theory it is. It is very easy. You're just connecting with people. You're just socializing. You're just getting their resume. You're getting interested, but there's a science to it. And a lot of recruiting firms, this is what I've learned over the years, do not train well. And I know that because what's been happening is that let's just use Bay Area, for example, because that's what I know best. All the Bay Area companies are now having internal recruiters. And what used to happen is I used to send a resume over to the CTO, the VP of engineering, and I'd get a very quick response and I'd get a very accurate response. Now what's happening, I have to send into either an ATS, an applicant tracking system, which the in-house recruiter looks at, or I'm just emailing the in-house recruiter and I'm saying, okay, here's so-and-so, let me know when you want to talk to them. And they're passing. Now, I do some pretty quality stuff. So for the most part, I know what someone wants. So I have a very high, sending resume to interview. So I'm like, what do you mean you're passing? XYZ is exactly, what you guys want. Well, I didn't see something, didn't see X. And I go, well, that's because X is called something different and you just don't know that. So I was having arguments with someone that I'm supposed to be working with. And I was like, what is this? What is this world coming to? It's a disaster. The recruiting world is a disaster. And so companies, since they don't understand what we do, no one's ever really taken the time to understand what we do. They don't know how to hire one. They just know that they need one. So I was having my current clients fly me in and a couple team members fly me in and train their in-house staff. And although lucrative and fun, it just wasn't making sense. And one of my current employees who's been with me forever, Ben Markowitz, he goes, why don't we automate ourselves? I go, what do you mean? He goes, everyone does e-courses these days. It's like the way you learn. And I go, huh. I go, but then we would be putting our training that we worked really hard on the streets, essentially, right? And so I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? You're right. Our industry has some of the worst, if you Google recruiters are, it's like the worst things pop up. They think we're evil because some are. Seriously, our industry is just not well respected. And I've done this for way too long to keep seeing that happen. And I was trained way back when at my old job to have secrets. That if you found something great, you don't share it because you'd be sharing your money is what he told me. And I don't think like that. I've been in it far too long. I want to see everyone make money. There's enough of it.
Sure.
There is so many openings. I have just one client that needs 500 engineers from us. Wow. 500.
Wow.
One client. Like, I mean, okay, that's really high. We normally it's normally like 20 to 10 or, maybe even 3, but that's high. And I'm like, I don't care if I share that, because at the end of the day, we're all making a lot of money. What's the big deal? And if I can share my knowledge and help people to help themselves, help their families, and help dream bigger, I want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So we came up with this 3-hour e-course, which is on the millionairerecruiter.com. And to basically, this is exactly how I train if you were right in front of me. If you were at Techees, that is how I train. And what's been super exciting for me, because I was just born last year, is that as I just grew myself, I actually got to use my course to train my own employees.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, because, trust me, I know that I did good work. All of our cheat sheets, that I like to call it, all of our, information is on there too. So there's downloads, there's all this information. But when I was on camera, which is actually, we did professionally, which is cool, I had a script, right, in theory, but I went off script so much. I go off on tangents, as you can tell, just by talking to me today. I go off on tangents because my mind dings in all different areas. And that's how the recruiting world works, is in order to be good on it, you have to allow yourself to think outside the box. And that's how I train.
Mm-hmm.
And I put people on the spot, and I do real life calls and, stuff like that. That's all real. It's all in the course. And so what has been really cool is I thought I would be reaching people that aren't in the industry and that just, maybe they're in some different sales job, so they get the sales gig, because not everyone gets the sales. Not everyone can do commission. It's, it takes a different type of person, I think. It's more risky.
Yeah.
But I'm actually grabbing current recruiters that are like, wait a minute, I'm not making over 100K. I'm making 40K.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Yeah.
And I go, well, let me tell you why. And so I get to have conversations with people, and it's, I don't want to say I'm saving them. It's not saving them, but you know what I mean? I'm just giving them information. And so they've been taking the course, and then that therefore empowers them. This course isn't meant to have people go and do it on their own. That I have not come up with that, although a lot of people have asked for that recently, so maybe I will. But it's really meant to up your game. And then there are sites, and also my company, I do partner with some of the ones who aren't currently in an agency, and that they want to do this by themselves without fully opening up their own business.
Yeah.
And so therefore we just kind of run them like 1099. Okay, fine. We'll just, or W9,
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different channels, a lot of different opportunities for people in the industry. But what's so great is how fast the learning curve is. And you'll never learn it all. I'll say, I've seen everything, and then something will happen next week where I'm like, well, I've never seen that before. So I never say that. I always say I will never see it all. Everyone is constantly training, constantly learning, and even like my own people this week, I had 2 people start on Monday, and I like to make sure that they're doing while they're learning, because they can literally find someone during training, what is considered training. They can find someone. And yesterday, we found someone, and he already had an interview. And it's day 2.
Wow.
So it's fast.
Yeah.
It is so fast, and it's so rewarding. And so anyways, that's what I think I answered your question. That's what the course is all about making it really, really easy for people. But when I say easy, it's not easy. It's work, right?
Yeah, of
Everything's
course.
work.
Of course. Let me ask you this for our listeners, because I think this is what you're saying. The title on your web is Get Rich with No Experience. We talked about trade schools before we started recording the show, and we're both big proponents of that. In a sense, this is almost learn a trade through your course. Obviously, you said not everybody is going to start their own business. Maybe they're working for somebody else as a recruiter, but this will help up their game. But you're really giving somebody a tool and an opportunity to make good money in an arena that maybe they didn't think about, is what I'm getting at. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And our industry is set, which I don't even know how, to double in the next year or 2. There was this beautiful article that came out, and I was like, wow, that is ginormous. But it's just because it's keeping up with the demand of technology. Yeah. The demand is high. Looking at your kind of your bullet points on your website, what you receive when you go through the course, it doesn't seem like once somebody goes through this, that they're only recruiting for the tech industry. They're learning how to be a recruiter in general, correct?
They are, definitely. Absolutely. You can take anything. Like I had someone just finish it who's a lawyer, who does lawyer recruiting. And he said it really helped him. However, I will say it is very tech focused.
Yes.
All of my examples are in tech.
Got it.
But it has the same principles.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, for me, like, I just don't see why someone wouldn't want to do tech, just because I have been in it and I've seen the growth that it's had. And what's interesting about tech is it moves extremely quickly, whereas other industries, like lawyer, for example, like I even tried to talk the guy out of it. Like, oh no, switch to tech. He goes, well, I was a lawyer, and so it's a passion of mine, whatever. So I said, fine. But lawyers are difficult.
Yeah,
that's a personality thing, and they stay.
Yeah.
Whereas engineers don't. Engineers move every 1 to 3 years.
Is there any background that, I mean, if somebody says, they listen to the show and they're like, wow, I should become a recruiter. Is there some backgrounds that might fit better, or is this really kind of open for everybody, you think?
Oh my gosh, I think it's open for everybody. So at first, I used to try to just basically find my clone. I'm like, I'm just going to find another Brianna. It's great. I love, the personality-wise and all that stuff. I used to think that there was a science to that. There's not. In my office, I have all types of people. Really, at the end of the day, I think the biggest thing is you have to be money motivated.
Okay.
But I think that with everything, I think that if you want to be successful, then you have to actually want it. So we were talking about putting it out in the world.
Yeah.
You want money, then be money motivated and do things that make you money, and have a goal. I think that is extremely important. I
do want to say this real quick because we've talked about money quite a bit. I have a passion for helping others, and through my companies, we help orphanages down in Mexico. But I have to remind myself and others, I wouldn't be able to do that unless I made money. And making money isn't wrong. It's okay. It's what you do with it and how you approach it. And I like how your principle. You have to be money motivated to be successful at this, so that you can have that success and then do something with it. And if you're passionate about helping others and that's in your DNA, you got to make the money first. And so I'm a big believer in being money motivated as well. I just choose to spend it and share it in different ways. So thank you for saying that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And do other passions, So someone, Emily Stellick, who has been with me the longest, almost 8 years, her passion, she went to school for graphic design.
Yeah.
Her passion was not recruiting in any matter. So she loves designing things. And so she's actually on the website. I don't know how much you looked into it, but she came up with a product called the Rosé Flotte.
Oh.
She designed it, like the full shebang. And she's doing really well with it. And so I wanted to put it on the site.
Huh.
I said, this is great. It's a different business venture that I don't even get a cent out of. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's all about paying it forward and helping the people, one, that have also helped you too, right? But just being there and enjoying someone's passion. I love different passions. I love passionate people in general. It doesn't have to be about money, but like you said, you can't enjoy your passion unless you have the money. She wouldn't have been able to come up with the Rosé Flotte and fund it if she didn't have the money.
Yeah, I just found that, by the way. That's pretty cool. I'm going to need one of those for my pool this summer.
People love it. They're getting actually really big. They're getting a really big response. It's incredible, and the quality is fantastic. So it's like all those things, and not to mention like with time. Being a recruiter, although you're always kind of on, like there's never a time I'm not checking my email, right? For the most part, except with my kids. But literally, I work 28 hours a week. In theory.
Yeah.
I mean, not in theory, but that's when I'm in the office, 28 hours a week. My employees work 32.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
And they all make well over 100. A couple that make over 2. I have one that hit 3. So it's like, and they're only spending 32 hours in the office because I don't believe in a lot of hours. I believe you can get a lot done in a short period of time.
Yeah, well, if, like you said, money motivated, you're making the money. You don't have to put in the crazy hours. Be smart.
Yeah.
Take the tools that you've learned and apply them. So, look, I could probably talk to you for a couple more hours because I'm getting charged up the longer I talk to you, but I'm going to have to go apply some of this now.